Hello and welcome to the Supreme Leadership Summit. I am your host, Rachel Abba, and I am an intuitive healing boss. Like I am a supreme spiritual guide and mentor, courage mentor to highly intuitive people. And I'm in the business of supporting highly intuitive women in particular become bold and feel seen and liberated to just step out into the world, take up space, and create meaningful success for themselves on their terms. And the whole purpose of the summit, we're inviting you, welcome to the Supreme Leadership Summit, which is all about curating and inviting top experts on clarity, courage, and confidence to reveal superior strategies to feel worthy and, realizing your dreams, creating your ultimate success lifestyle. So without further ado, today we have with us.
Hey guys, it's
Who's
Rafiat.
this? Who's this? Yeah.
So you said Rafiat Ahmed, guys.
Rafiat.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for having me.
You're very welcome. This was so exciting. I'm so glad you said yes because, and I'm going to read her bio. So Rafiat Ahmed is a restorative faith coach, speaker, workshop facilitator, and host of Follow Your First Mind podcast. I love that title. Rafiat is intuitive as well, fearless and wise, stretching individuals to take inspired action to create the life they never knew they could have through understanding their identity, intuition, impact, and influence. Rafiat leverages her unique field lessons to serve individuals who are on their pathways to self-discovery and healing from burnout and suffering from poor mental health experiences that are hindering their life's fullest expression. Rafiat's passion consists of faith, leadership, and especially teaching young people how to become powerful leaders. Well, aren't you in the right place?
Yeah.
Welcome, Rafiat Ahmed. Please, few words. Introduce yourself in your own words. Share with our
Sure.
audience a little bit about your story, about yourself, and how you came to this work.
For sure. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. As you said, I'm very passionate about leadership, intuition, and really just tapping into who you are. And so, as you said, I help my clients to really get there, right? Move through I like to call it poor mental health experiences because it's just an experience, right? I find as a person who previously dealt with, I called myself a high functioning depressed person. So on the outside, you would never know, right? We have a lot of people. I'm listening to some of the guests you've had so far, and we've been talking about this, right? So this is kind of what it is. That's where my story was. I was working a job that everyone said, like, yes, it's corporate, you should do this, and you're really great at it. Had a long-term boyfriend. I had, good money by the world standards, things like that.
Yes.
And I just felt really empty inside, very lost. I just couldn't understand why is it that my passion was to be in business and I couldn't get my business off the ground. I didn't understand everything I tried just wasn't working. Any job I tried to apply for, I wouldn't get it. I just felt really stuck in my life. And in 2018, my eldest brother passed away. And
My
it was very,
condolences.
thank you. Yeah, it was very sudden. Just one day he just didn't wake up. And so going down for his funeral, he lives in Boston. I'm in Toronto. And so going down for his funeral and just being amongst the life that he's created there, it was really eye-opening for me to see how much people came out to celebrate his legacy. He himself was a youth worker, and it really at the time made me think because around that time I was actually having thoughts of suicide and having suicide ideation. And so it was really jarring because I was thinking about, well, this is what you're asking for, right? I didn't know what being an intuitive person was. I didn't understand the thoughts were powerful, but I understood if I keep thinking about this, I might call this on myself, right? That's the most that I really understood at the time.
Yes.
And so I kind of started waking up, right? The relationship at the time was going very toxic, becoming very emotionally abusive. I was really starting to see a lot of things. And so finally, December 2018, I left that relationship and started to really work on myself. And I started asking, I call him God, but I know some people call him universe, creator, most high. I started asking him, I'm like, listen, if you're the creator and I'm the
Listen.
created thing, right? Had to break it down. Like I really call him gangster Jesus. I'm just gonna be
Yeah.
honest. Because sometimes he just snatches you up,
Oh my God. This
And
is
so
so good.
I had to
Yeah.
relate on the way that I
Yeah.
relate, you
There
know.
you go. No, I love it. I love it.
And just really ask like what's going on here, like, you know, I want to live in purpose, but then I realized he's like, well, who are you, right? You don't know who you are, so where are you
Mm,
going with this, right?
yes.
And so if he's my creator, I started really asking, well, then who am I,
Hmm.
right? Help me to see, not the labels that everyone told me. I was the good girl. I always, as I said, I had all the things by the
On
world standards
paper. Yeah.
on paper that should have made me happy, yet I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
right thinking of taking my life. And so really that led me on this journey to understand, okay, who am I? And that led me to understanding what intuition is, and looking at the signs, seeing the messages. And I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool, you know, let's keep on walking here, you know.
Yes.
Through getting help myself in a different coaching program, and really just my eyes opening up to like this world of coaching. And I realized, okay, I can be a guide too. I can help people who have gone through things like I've gone through. And up to this point now, I'm really just honing back into this passion for young people, and just really wanting to help our next generation be the leaders that they're meant to be, because I really believe in wisdom and our own experience, right? And so I think oftentimes our young people, because I used to work with young people, I think oftentimes our young people kind of are lost in the sauce. One, because society doesn't deem them as worthy, having enough experience to really give back into society. Two, they don't believe they have enough, right? But yet when you talk to some of them, the things that they go through, it's just like, man, if I was 17 going through what you're going through, I don't know what I
Yeah.
would do either. Right. It's
Yeah.
helping, for me, it's really helping them to see and own what is it that they're going through, so they can
Yes.
move
To
forward in.
validate their experience and yeah.
Exactly. Because, you know, as we're saying, we're talking about worthiness as we move forward. And so yeah, I think at that age I really did not feel worthy of the things that I wanted. I had very big dreams, right? I had
Mm,
very lofty, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be great.
yes. Yes.
Right.
I'll be set by 23.
This is it. I
Hmm.
had it laid out, you know, and life's like, haha, gotcha.
Oh, look at her plans. Oh, isn't
Right?
that sweet? Yeah.
Right. And so as you said, well, I had to be like, listen, I
Yeah.
surrender. Tell me where to go here. But it's been a great journey leading me really up to here. So that's what I really do. I kind of take understanding of your own life's journey, and how do you make that fuel to what you're doing now, and how do you use it to help you guide you to where you're going to go.
Beautiful. So you're taking your experiences, you're transforming the, the unique pain that you experienced into service, right? And
Yes.
reaching out to others, like reaching back, right?
Yes.
To others in that same space or even younger, to catch them and
Yeah.
uplift them before they get to a point where they really lose that sense of, because you're talking about identity and
Yes.
direction and
Yes.
really hone in on their own internal compass so they can,
Exactly.
you guide them along that path
Yeah.
and as I said, validate their experience to know that, okay, you're not alone. What
Mhm.
you're going through is not, you think it's only you. I thought it was only
Yes,
me, but it's
this is
not.
it. I think
It's so
honestly
not
that's
you.
depression's job. Like I feel like part of his job is to really make you feel like you're the only person who's ever experienced these emotions, and something's
Yeah.
wrong with you. And something that really helped with that is really understanding, okay, if there's nothing new under the sun, right? There's a scripture
Hmm.
that says, sorry, I don't know where exactly it is, but it says,
Yes.
you know, there's nothing new under
I
the
believe
sun.
it was wasn't that in the story of Solomon?
I believe so.
Wasn't
I
it
just don't know
Solomon who
where.
said that?
Yes.
Okay,
Proverbs,
well, yeah.
probably.
There's nothing new under the sun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so if that's the case, then from the beginning of time, everything we experience has already been experienced.
Yes.
And so that really helped me to understand that, you know what, having a poor mental health experience, such as anxiety, burnout, and depression,
Hmm.
um, you know, somebody else has gone through it. That means I can get through it too, right? Or live with it,
Exactly.
right? So
That's
that's it.
hopeful. Like
Yeah.
you're really, almost like a lifeline, right? You're throwing people a lifeline to say, there's hope.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, you know,
The end.
this too shall pass, right?
Exactly.
And here are some of the things and ways that I was able to get through,
Yes.
right? So this is really, oh, this is inspiring. And which
Mhm.
brings us to, the next question I have, so you can share with our audience
Mhm.
around, that worthiness piece of how how did you experience connecting to your worthiness
Mhm.
impacting who you were being in the world, like what you were able to
Mhm.
create out of that, like Was it important? Do you have to feel worthy? Is it
Mm,
something that actually improves your life in any way? Or can you just go through your journey without the worthiness piece? How was that? How have you experienced once you connected to your worthiness? You were, the Lord asked you a question,
mm,
right?
yeah,
Gangster
yeah.
Jesus.
Right?
Uh,
He got real.
Gangster Jesus asked you, Rafiat, who you being? Like, who are you? You're like, I don't
Right.
know. Like, it was all like sassy. I
Yeah,
don't know. You made me. You tell me. This is what I'm
exactly.
here for. Give me some answers. And then Gangster Jesus said,
Pretty much.
right?
That's how it went. That's how it went.
Okay. Yeah. And Angel Gabriel was like,
Right? Hold
guys,
on a
relax.
second. Yeah.
So, what has this experience been like? Who are you? And who are you
Mm.
being in the world?
Ah, I really love this question. I think who I'm being in this world is really a person who embodies what I say. So integrity is very important to me, in terms of being authentic. And if I said something, I'm going to do it. But it goes further to, okay, if I can't do it, I'm gonna say I can't do it. Like, it's not just about what is it I have to perform anymore for this world to accomplish. It's really about what's integral to me, right?
Hmm.
Um, a part of that is really being in my peace, right? Like, peace is my priority. This is what I realized I was missing.
Wow.
And through that, I understood, okay, presence, right? How do I make sure these things are still in my life? And then how do I move forward, right? Because I kind of, I need my base, right? And I think before, what I was missing when I didn't feel worthy of these things in my life, I didn't really have something to connect back to, right?
Okay.
I
And
think,
so were you
mhm.
connecting back to yourself and presencing yourself?
I think before I was connecting to the exterior things. So I
Okay.
was very much
Finding your
I
value in
manipulate.
the world?
Yeah, like I can do, like, in my previous positions, employment positions, I was like, ask me to do things and it's done, right? Like, I want to be that person. And I think I really hinged a lot of who I was and who I can be of service to people based on everything I've done prior, right?
Okay.
Like,
So you were a human doing, not a
yes,
human
very much,
being.
very much,
Okay.
very, very much. And so now I realize, oh wait, there's a different way, and I can relax.
Yes. And that's where your peace, right?
Exactly, exactly,
Finding
exactly.
your peace and
Yeah,
reestablishing peace and being
yeah,
grounded. I'm
yeah,
I'm I'm hearing groundedness
yeah.
and
Yeah, that
trusting the
was
process.
huge. Just trusting the process, because I realized I like to, feeling unworthy led me to really trying to control everything, right?
Mm. How did that
Control,
work out?
right? Still going through it, because okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I really believe that there's these traits that were really working against you. And then when you come into a transformation, you're really asking spirit to guide you and lead you. I believe he is transmuting that into an energy which he can use. So it's understanding that control, but now on the other side, it's like, okay, how do I, it's like a devotion. So I devote myself to these things, but now I understand, oh, there's trust now. I understand that he has a role to play. There's time and space
Mhm.
versus I gotta control, get everything done right now.
Yeah, so
you
it's
know?
like, yeah, productive control
Yeah.
and yeah. So you're now using those things that maybe you had like a judgment around and you're
Yes,
stripping the judgment
for
off
sure.
and you're realigning them and
Right.
putting them in service to your vision,
Yeah,
right?
because
The
it's still a
vision
part
that
of
has been
me.
planted in your heart
Exactly.
in this particular incarnation. So this is
Yeah.
what I'm hearing. I don't know if that's what you're saying. Are you
Yeah, this is it.
saying?
Drop it down.
Okay. This is what happens when two intuitive people come
Right?
together, like, and they're like, I didn't hear her say that at all.
I'm sorry. But you know what though? I think that is like really special about being intuitive, is that you allow people to drop in because you really hear what they're saying. Right. And I think a lot of people don't meet other people in conversation where they actually hear them. So like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's a
That's
gift.
what I
You're
haven't said
welcome.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It's special.
I so appreciate you. So, I hope, the audience is hearing this, how I love how you went through those steps for yourself and how
Mhm.
you were able to reestablish that connection with your inner voice, um, and trusting
Yes.
that voice to guide you forward. And you're following, again, you've been listening to the summits and listening to all these amazing experts. They're
Mhm.
layering a very similar message around
Mhm.
following the clues, following the breadcrumbs, trusting,
Mhm.
remaining in the step you're in, one foot in front of the other, and you just keep, you know, just this active surrender, just leaning into it and with curiosity. So asking a lot of productive questions. What's next? Who, what am I required to know about this? Who do I speak to next? What do I see in this? Like all of these, just leaning in, not knowing, it's that like control, like you're surrendering. So it's not the
Yes.
control piece, but because you feel safe and held, and
That's
you
it.
can sense that, okay, this has a direction, this has a feel to it, and
Yes.
you're going with it, there is control around it, there is order to it.
Exactly. It's order now. It's different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a different
Yeah.
kind of control.
Yes. Yes.
So, where it's like collaborative,
Yes.
right?
I'm
You're
really into co-creation, right? That's what I kind of talk about. It's
beautiful.
coming together, right? It's
Yes.
understanding that yes, I have a power, but there's a power greater than I that controls everything else. So
Yes.
he
Big
does also
picture.
control me, but there's a big picture, right? And if you look at all strategy and really just all the way life is everywhere else in the natural and wherever you a forest, whatever, you can see it, right?
Mhm.
So it's understanding that if it's already at play, join the force that's already at play.
Be in harmony. Be in
Exactly.
harmony with your life. There's a grand
Exactly.
design, right? There's a grand design that you can choose to follow or
Yes.
not, right?
Yes.
If that is what you believe. So for sure.
Mhm.
And so I will also ask, right? I'll also ask you about like, is there any, is there any one practice or one resource or one technique or
Mhm.
experience that you can share with the audience that has really served you in becoming grounded and finding your way, I guess,
Mm.
and making your way in the world?
This is a tough question for me because I'm a multi-purpose, multi-passionate person. But I will say the thread in it all is really remaining curious, right? Like I try to really remain curious about what I'm going through, and to actually see whatever the breadcrumbs are or whatever insight I'm supposed to get, download, whatever. But I really have to remain curious and open to, okay, this situation is teaching me something. What can it be, whether it be a good situation or bad, right? But allowing myself to ask the questions.
So asking curious questions.
Yeah, like sometimes it's something open, like let me see an example. Um, lately I've been getting I read scripture every day. I read the Bible mostly every day. I'm not gonna pretend. Mostly every day. And
The angels are like,
right, girl. Mostly every day. And maybe if I don't understand this, or if I start to see a theme coming up, I'll start asking questions. This is what I'm seeing. Now I experience this in my life. I feel like this is connected. Can you help me explain? Can you show me this?
mhm,
Can you confirm it in this way? Right? Something that's practical, because he understands that we're here in the physical. So I gotta see physical. I gotta see tangible. That's still part of
evidence,
human, yeah,
evidence. Yeah.
evidence, right? Part of human nature. And so just asking for that and
Okay,
allowing myself
doubting
to,
Thomas.
right? I have to be real. Oh, I love that you said that, to be honest, because
Aren't we all like,
right?
honestly?
I feel like a part of my journey has really been like reclaiming that.
Mm,
Because the story of Peter, and he
yes.
had he becomes Simon becomes Peter, and he's the rock of the church, which is awesome. But like when I look at it, I realize like he was actually quite doubtful. He did not want to follow at
Oh,
first, right? It wasn't until the miracle at the boats with the fish had to be, God knew he had to show him something big, right? He had
yeah.
to give him a big evidence for him to
Something
be,
measurable.
you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so even Abraham, Sarah, like this is what it is. And so I feel like it's okay to accept that that's that part of you. And I feel like that's a part of the co-creation, the dance, the harmony of co-creation, because you got to
Yes.
be, listen, I don't know where I'm going. People have
Yes.
questions if you have children, or if you have bills, if you have what, people have questions,
Yes.
about what are you doing in life?
People, yeah.
Parents.
People.
And
The
so,
community would like to
right?
know,
Yeah, even
where are you
yourself.
heading? Yeah.
Because I can be very secure in myself and say, you know what, he's leading me to this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm cool with it. And then, you have people in your life that may say, hey, what are you doing? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And being a person who's multi-passionate, I get that question a lot because it looks like I'm
Yes.
squirreling around or jumping around. But
Yeah,
for
I
me,
love
this is
that you
it.
bring this up. I love you
Yeah.
bring this up because when, this journey of, supporting people and becoming bold and feeling
Mm,
seen and, so you're not hiding in your own life and
mm,
like, riding shotgun in your own life.
yeah.
And yeah, people do have questions, whether it be a spouse, a parent, um, siblings, whatever, whoever you have around you,
Yeah.
when they don't see your vision, and sometimes at the beginning when you don't see your vision,
Exactly. You don't really know. So like I would love to answer you.
it's like I would love to tell you that this is going to turn out well, but and when you have your doubts as well, you're like, oh my God, I'm really screwing
Mhm,
this up, and
mhm.
oh my God, I'm going to end up like I don't even know where I'm going to end up,
Yep, that's it.
and you want to have hope and you want to believe, and, you just in that place. Like, honestly, like anyone who is either experiencing that right now or knows someone or has been, just know that we see you and
Yes.
we hear you, because at some point in time, if you're creative,
Mhm.
intuitive, basically walk to the beat of a different drum in
Yes.
this world, in the way this paradigm is created. It is no surprise, especially for women, because I know you also touched on the whole burnout thing.
Yeah.
This experience of like neither here nor there can
Mhm.
take a toll on your mental health. It can take a
Yes.
toll on because you're questioning yourself, other people are that's stress.
Yes.
Stress shows up, all you want to do is pull the sheets over your head, and you don't want to get up. You don't want to
Yeah.
see people, right?
Yeah.
And I've experienced that. And I've worked with clients who, experience that as well. So this is just like a quick segue to say you're not alone.
No.
Everyone you see, or you might, who has been through it, or has come out on the other side, don't
Mhm.
think that they don't have a story. Don't think that somehow
Mhm.
they have this big secret and they haven't gone through
Yes.
anything, right?
Yeah.
No. And some, and I'll speak for myself, even in the midst of transformation, even in the midst
Mhm.
of the pieces coming together, it's like a spiral, right? You're not quite
Mhm.
back where you started, but you can see the neighborhood over the fence. Like it's in the
Yes. It's
same,
the
like you come, you're
ballpark.
like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
And it's just a different layer and a different level of,
Yeah.
okay, I don't have clarity on this, or I don't feel confident about this.
Yes.
I lack the courage in this particular moment. Yet we now have been through enough and asked enough questions and leaned in
Mhm.
enough to have some tools, some resources to trust and to
Exactly.
ground ourselves to say, okay, it's looking crazy right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
However, I
Mhm.
trust the process. I know how this is going to work out. It'll be for my highest good.
That's it.
And then in that vein, you're like, I'm going to do it anyway,
Yeah.
because I know who I am being. I'm going
Yes.
to count on my commitment. I love that as a coach, you take committed, you support your clients in taking committed action,
Yeah.
and support the youth in taking committed action, because
Yeah.
when you're being committed, that's really the one place you can count on. It's like, I
Exactly.
don't have the answers yet,
Exactly.
but I'm going all in. I'm
That's
showing
it.
up 100%, and I'm going to
Yeah.
do this thing.
And why
I'm
not do it
going
for
to,
yourself? Right? Like
right?
if you're going to show up for anybody, right, you should be showing up for yourself in whatever way that looks like for you. But
Exactly.
if we can't be, that's what kind of got me when I was leaving that relationship. It was like, wow, I realized like this partner does not respect me. And I had to realize, well, I don't respect myself. Hold on a second. This
Yeah.
goes a little bit deeper,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Right. Self-reflection. That's
Yeah.
also what you were sharing about, one tool or one practice of asking those questions. And that is part
Mhm.
of self-reflection, and be with yourself, right?
Exactly.
Truly be with yourself and get to the bottom of it. And then reach out for support, reach
Yeah.
out for others, and surround yourself not with naysayers, but with people who, are already where you aspire to be,
Yes.
right? Surround yourself with mentors, surround yourself with coaches, which is what I hear
Mhm.
you doing as well. So that
Yeah,
way you continue to grow, you
exactly.
continue to fill in the gaps as you stand
Mhm.
in the gap for
Yeah.
others,
Yeah,
right?
that's it. Like that's what I realized. I love that you said that's the doing because that's what I realized with this work of being, that's the doing, right? It's the
Yes.
doing of the being. It's not necessarily the making sure that you got this email perfect. It's making
Yeah.
sure that you're
Yeah.
around the space of the energies that will help you get to
Yes.
help you be even better.
Yes,
So
being in
that has been
alignment
interesting.
with your vision, like
Yeah,
being in alignment, and it doesn't, it's not about perfection. It's about the
exactly.
practice of being authentically you.
Yes.
And that's what we're
Yes.
required,
Yeah.
to commit to,
Yeah.
right? And then take
That's it.
action
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
I love this. So again, what I would love to be able to, because you've touched on so many things I could, dig into, whether it be scripture, whether it be this multi-passionate piece that you
Mm.
brought up. I'm like,
You're right.
right. What has she like? What does she do? What does that
So
mean? They're like,
many.
there's stories. I
Yes.
can feel stories. That might be a show for another day. But here's something that I would love for you to share with our audience as well, in terms of that piece of being like in the world and being seen,
Mm.
right? Like, what has your relationship been like with, would you consider yourself a bold person? Would you consider yourself like a shrinking violet, or someone who
Mm.
is okay or has become okay with expressing herself
Mm.
and her style and being seen? What has that been like for you?
Wow, that's a very interesting question, very timely question. I've been very just toying, with this idea for quite a number of weeks,
Hmm.
because I realized around it was this I guess challenge or trauma I had around wanting attention. And where
Yes.
does that come from, right? Like
Hmm.
seeking it for vain reasons or for, any other reason. Um, I think I've always been a person who's been able to stand up in front of crowds and do those kind of things. I'm very much an extrovert in that way, but I'm also very much an introvert. And so I think those two kind of clash with each other. Now I think I'm more bold because I try to stand on not just my confidence, but really the confidence that God has given me to do this thing.
Yes.
Because I often feel like I shouldn't be in the spaces that I'm in because I'm like, hold on a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what happens sometimes when you're so in alignment. It's like these amazing opportunities come your way, and you're just like, wait, that was a dream, like,
Yeah. It wasn't really supposed to happen just
yeah,
yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
legit, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like just very as of late, I feel like this is a season to really be bold because you have to. Like I feel like I have to. You said something when you were talking to Andrea, I think it was a day ago or 2 days ago, you said that it's almost selfish if you don't show up. And man, I was sitting in my car like,
You're like,
who
oh
told
no, she went
Rachel?
there.
Right? Like, who told her? Why not listen today? But and it made me realize, like, yeah, if I am not showing up in certain ways, I am being selfish. I am holding the gifts in which he's given me. And I know he's called me to speak. This is one of the visions he's given me. And so I understand it's scary, requires a boldness and a courageousness, a strength. But I like to just say a prayer before I do it and go for it and just trust that
Yeah.
whatever comes my mouth, it's him expressing himself.
Hmm.
This is what he wants to be said at this moment in time because
Yes.
he knows who's going to listen to it, not just
Yes.
today, not to tomorrow, but 5 years from now, 20 years from now, right? That's
Yeah.
real legacy, right?
Right.
And so I try my best to let go of those things, but it has been a journey. I can't lie to you.
Yeah.
Especially with social media being what it is, I realized I had to take a break from social media
Mm.
because I really was like really hinging my self-worth and value on the likes, the nobody's participating, all these things,
Yes.
nobody's
And
buying.
judging your value
You see what
based
I'm
on
saying? Uh,
external.
and so he had to give me a pause and I had to take it. And it's been awesome coming back in the world now.
Yeah.
But really understanding that, like, okay, it's not just about me. And
Yes.
so I just have to be willing and open to share and trust that
Yes.
whatever comes out my mouth right now is what he wants.
Yes.
And if I have to say sorry after, I'm also willing to, because you never know the impact of what you're saying. But
That's true.
I try my best to say it out of love, and how I understand it in this moment.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
we're always learning, we're always growing and evolving.
Exactly.
If you should show, if we choose to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I thank you for sharing that,
Mm-hmm.
because, the fear piece, that is one that stops, a lot of people,
Yeah.
women in particular, the price that you pay for
Mm-hmm.
stepping out and using your voice and being
Yes.
seen, and making sure that, that good woman piece, right? Especially if you're coming from, a faith-based background,
Yes.
whether it
Yes.
be Judeo-Christian, whatever it is.
Whatever.
There's definitely that layer. And so
Yes.
I'm really, I find this and I experience this as very validating and
Mm.
encouraging,
Nice.
for myself in
Mm.
particular, and I hope the same for the audience as well.
Mm.
I just want to thank you for doing this, and coming here and being vulnerable,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Thank
so
you.
you
Thank
tell me,
you.
so you have a podcast, correct?
Yes, so Follow Your First Mind, season two. We'll be dropping again. I took a little break, as I said.
Yes, yes, you
So
did.
we'll be dropping again
Coming
this
back
month.
bigger and stronger.
That's it. We really share stories about people. My guests and I share stories about, coming through their intuition, coming through, sorry, life experiences, and now looking back, seeing how their intuition had guided them along the way. So that,
Beautiful.
hopefully we all don't have to stumble upon the same blocks. We all got
Yes,
our own, but if somebody can
yes.
help you, why not?
Exactly. No, I love that. So
Yeah.
you'll give me all that information. I'll make that available
Yeah.
on the official Supreme Leadership Summit site.
Nice.
And again, thank you, Rafiat Ahmed,
Yeah. Thank
for
you.
being here and sharing your wisdom with us.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Everyone, thank you so much for being here on another episode of Supreme Leadership Summit.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing you again. Remember, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every day, Monday to Friday, we meet live in Zoom. Okay?
Nice.
Until then,
Bye,
bye for now.
everyone. Thank you.